Hi, John Czapko, Thrive Insurance Group. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today, I wanted to take a little bit different spin on our conversation and talk about something that really affects business owners from a strategy perspective, which is business continuity planning, BCP, something that is not really insurance related, but is more of a risk management strategy. So we're going to talk about business continuity planning and the impacts it can have on your small business. So this week I was speaking to a client, they're a machine shop here in town, and we were talking about originally going down the path of an insurance conversation, but we quickly turned into a conversation about business continuity planning. And I'll tell you why that was important to this customer. We started talking about operational things. We started talking about supply chain things. We started talking about property things. These were things that were really important to his business. And we talked about what would happen if there was a disaster from an operational perspective. What would happen if there was a disaster from a supply chain perspective, if he couldn't get the materials he needed in his machine shop to basically conduct his business? What would happen if his machine shop was impacted and he couldn't conduct business from a property damage? These were not insurance conversations. These were all business conversations. And what we quickly realized was he was lacking a business continuity plan. And a BCP, a business continuity plan, really comes in from a risk management play perspective. A lot of big companies put these in place. I don't see a lot of small or medium-sized companies doing it, and we're starting to have more and more conversations with our clients to try to enact this within their cadence of their business. It's the innovator's dilemma where, where do I find the time to put this into the stack? But it's an important conversation to have, and here's why. 40% of small businesses, according to FEMA, will not return in the event of a disaster. So there's a large percentage of businesses that don't return after some sort of a disaster, and there's a lot of reasons for it. Some of those are insurance related, some of those are not insurance related, but having a business continuity plan in place really helps your business from communications perspective, from making sure that you have the right risk assessment in place, making sure that you have a business impact analysis in place, making sure that you have the proper recovery point objectives, recovery time objectives in place, making sure that your business is properly architected, you have the right technology recovery objectives in place, making sure that your team can remotely access the applications in place that you have so that his accounting people could access the accounting systems remotely, and the other thing that we talked about that, this isn't just a plan. Let's just not put something in place. We need to make sure that we test this once a year. So make sure that we do have a recovery test of the IT systems, making sure that we can recover the data effectively, making sure that we have a test. We have to do an emergency supplier run, that we know that protocol and we can phone the suppliers and get the equipment on site quickly. And whatever that protocol may happen to be, we run through those tests. It's not just something static on a piece of paper. So this is a really interesting business conversation that we had that had very little to do with insurance. And then at the end, we tied it back to insurance, and we talked about things like property insurance, business personal property insurance, business income insurance. We talked about flood coverage from his commercial building perspective, something that's often overlooked on the commercial space. We don't see a lot of people buying flood coverage for their commercial buildings, which kind of astounds me, but it's a topic for another conversation. So business continuity planning really underpins a lot of your business strategy. Make sure you have a business continuity plan in place. Make sure you have that business continuity plan conversation with your insurance agent to make sure that they understand where you're headed from a business continuity planning perspective, and they can put the right coverages in place to support your BCP. I think that's a really important conversation to have and a really cool conversation to have with your insurance broker. So make sure you're having that. If you have any other questions around business continuity planning, we'd love to have that conversation with you. Make sure you reach out to us via Facebook, via email, via YouTube. And remember, thrive today, protect tomorrow. Thanks. Have a great day.